What's your personal lending limit?
We can finance your 25 million, if we want.
Well, and the limit, exactly what's the limit that you
You
have?
ask for 25 million, we can finance it.
But will you be able to take us to the next level?
You ask for 25 million, we can finance it.
You're being rather obstructive. I mean, if I can't establish that somebody can take me to the next level, then I'm probably wasting my
Yeah,
time.
you ask for 25 million, we can finance it.
So what if we ask for another 75 million?
Are we on a bassa right now, or what? You ask for
No,
25
no, no, because the thing
million,
is
we
this,
can do
we
it.
want basically a long-term relationship with somebody
Yeah,
that can understand the opportunity.
we can.
We can finance in such numbers if
Yeah.
we are convinced by the numbers.
Well, I mean, right now you are in business mode, right?
Yeah, we can help.
You want to
in
lend
that.
money because you basically have a fund that's sitting in euros and it's collapsing. So you want to invest in something in the near future that can bring growth to your...
but
So
the point is, if
Yeah.
we can't establish where we can go with you, I don't see why it should be a secret. I've never, listen, I've interviewed 3 banks this week. Okay, all of them have told me their limits. I have one that gave me a 50 million limit. One said he had a 22 million limit for some reason. I don't know why it was such an obscure number. One had a $200 million
We
limit.
probably can double that, so that's in our range.
Well, my chairman, Mr. Peña, told me this morning that, in his opinion, you had 100 million unsecured.
That's
Were you aware
correct,
of this
yeah.
option?
We can go that far if we like to.
Okay. So do you need
for
to...
the YouTube audience,
Yeah.
these people are practicing role playing. This is the banker side. They represent a German fund. We call it Deutsche Fund for right now. And these are entrepreneurs that are going to start a restaurant. They want to start one restaurant with hopefully 20, 30 restaurants in the Shangri-La Hotel starting in Shanghai. This gentleman, Ricardo, is a restaurateur from London, experienced 25 years. This guy is a hatchet man from Romania, who's his partner, who gets shit done. Continue. Sorry for the
So,
interruption.
okay, please continue, because we want to go to the fundamentals then. We need
But
that.
before we even start, we need to know that we can take... So you can give us 25 million if we need to.
We already
And
said it 10 times.
Do you need to go any further? Or you have authority to actually make the decision
We talked
yourself?
already about that. We can give it
So
away.
you could-
As you brought
you could
up
sign it up.
100 million, I can sign it.
Fine.
We have the allowance there to do it. Belongs to the deal.
So you don't need to go to anybody to make to have authority, okay?
So please, can you answer me right now?
Have-
As I asked the board.
What sort of
The
ventures
board.
do you like to make loans on?
First of all, I know right now chairman, as I've heard, is Mr. Peña. Then
Yeah.
we have Chris. Who is Chris?
Chris?
I just snapped it. Who is Chris?
The guy, Chris,
I have a gentleman called Mr. Bakran, who used to be CEO of one of the largest hotel groups in China.
That is the...
He is,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So he's an European guy, which is CEO of the hotel group in China, correct? Okay, that's very impressive.
I also have
And you have written documents and signed documents of all these guys?
correct, they're on the board, yes.
Okay.
You've got
I also have
special
another gentleman.
Chinese representations for your law, because when you come from London, probably you don't know.
We do
which
have
Chinese is.
representation, yes.
What company is that?
We have a British firm. Are you talking about lawyers or accountants? At the
Oh,
moment, we use
lawyers.
Price Waterhouse.
And lawyers?
And we have one of the top 3 law
Which one?
companies. I mean, we are in negotiations with 2 of them, but we will probably...
Did you sign already, or are you...
No, we
already
want
representing?
someone that we can trust, that they will actually, represent our best interests, and they can take us to the next level in,
Okay.
opening a
So I write down lawyer is open, you're still looking for somebody?
We have 2 people
No,
we
we
can.
have already
but
two.
yeah,
We have
but,
2
you
that we
didn't
can
sign-
use.
You didn't sign with a company. where
The
you're
reason why
representing
we
right now.
wanted to have to, because usually in legal matters, the Chinese culture is a bit different than the European culture.
That's why we
And
asked.
why we wanted to ask 2 opinions. So in fact, we are working with 2 out of the top 3.
Okay,
So you can write both of those.
Okay, so you have both of them?
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, okay, I understand. So who will
Yeah.
do what?
So one is China-based, one is Hong Kong-based, because the structure is that we should be organizing a Hong Kong holding company with a China trading company, but all funds get paid ultimately in Hong Kong, which is
That's
a much safer way for us to do business.
Okay, and what is PVC you said, huh?
Yeah.
Will they do the ordering and the financial balance sheet as well? So both
They are
sides?
going to be doing our audit. They are not going to be doing our balance sheet. We haven't made up our mind yet, but we're probably going to have somebody from Ernst & Young doing it.
Okay, good. So then let's come back to the deal. Right now we have that with the board, which is not sure is Shangri-La, the owner of Shangri-La, if he will be on the board or not.
No, he definitely won't be on the board.
He will
No,
not, but you will
no.
visit him for the
He
letter of
is,
intent.
he is a personal friend of one of our board members,
Okay,
and we are being invited to set up the first restaurant within their hotel group.
okay, it's already fixed. Do you have a contract or it's just a plan?
Subject to us being able to raise the funds, then everything is organised.
Okay, so you have 3 restaurants. So as I understand, the place will
I
be
want to
rented.
start with one restaurant.
With 1 restaurant. Okay, so you probably won't need 25 million for 1 restaurant. So what?
Agreed,
What
but
is-
before I can get the first restaurant, I need
Yeah.
to be able to commit to 3 restaurants if the first deal works out the way we hope it will. So we'd be looking for a 25 million facility immediately,
Okay, what we probably
which
need
we can
is
draw down subject to the paperwork on the 2nd and 3rd. But I think we're going to need about, I'm guessing right now, not more than 10 million for the first unit.
Okay, what we probably need is as it is a rental contract, we need all the rental contracts. We need the length of the
Yeah,
rental
but we
contracts.
can deal with that later. As I said, we haven't decided who we're going to go with, and I have 3 other bankers who.
Okay, so
No,
we
we
are
just
still-
tell you what we need when we want to go along.
Well, I mean,
we want to do
we
the
want-
deal,
we want
but you
to-
need to help us.
We
to
want
fund
to
the
establish a relationship. If we
Yeah.
can't feel that we're with friends and people that we can work with, then quite frankly, we wouldn't be interested in doing business with you anyway.
Plus, I mean, you have to sign some non-disclosure about the documents before you can provide it to, because
Yeah.
obviously you can provide these documents to to some other people, and we want to be assured from a legal standpoint that what we
Well,
give.
we
it-
need-
Do you
give
like
will
to
remain
make
secretive.
loans on restaurants?
Well, it's in our portfolio, and what we really need is a letter of intent from Shangri-La. We cannot give you a
Yeah, fine, okay, but do you
Yes,
like...
that's necessary, and it should be signed from Shangri-La.
Of course, you get that in due course.
On an experience,
principle,
because
you
are
like
not
to
the
make-
first, you are not the first restaurant group which we finance. We have
So you
some
may
other
have a
ones.
conflict of interest.
No, we don't.
From
we
our
don't
awareness,
have,
there are
no.
not so many brands from Europe that are expanding in China, and that's the beauty of it, because the Asian market is very, very interested in the European culture. I mean, in terms of fashion, in terms of restaurants, I mean, even American culture. But I mean, still, the growth right now it's happening in Asia and particularly in China.
I don't
So-
think we need to be selling to these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
it's
yeah, but
pretty
no, I mean, it's-
instructive.
Yeah,
I mean, I got such
I
a
agree.
better response from the
I agree,
last
I agree.
people.
I mean,
Not
it's-
only they came to
You
us,
should
they
be
didn't invite us
happy that
to
we're
their
coming
office.
because we consider it to be Germans and serious and good
We
at
can't even
financing.
get a rental contract.
Okay, thank
So-
you. That's fine, and I will
Yeah, I don't know, I mean,
best and all the good.
The thing is, I mean, I think it's better.
Let's call it,
No?
call it a day.
Okay, wait. Let's stop. Let's stop. This is this is real. This is this isn't slappy happy Zig Ziglar shit. This is real. This is how it does. And Ricardo's right. He would have gotten up and left. But I mean, there are lenders like these guys. The German guys are playing hardball, and they're asking
No,
hard
but
questions.
we-
But the reason why they're playing hardball.
Yeah, they don't give you any satisfaction.
No, it's
no,
because this is what they've gone through. This is what you've
No, I
experienced.
mean, it's nothing. If you cannot answer your question, I mean, I talking with banks, they would have left after the third question. They would have said, thank you, we are not
Yeah, but
interested.
that
And it's not
ask
that-
for
no,
an
it's
agenda
not-
for
it's not
fucking
a-
horseshit.
No,
This is bullshit.
it's not an issue.
banks
You
I've
only
been
have to
dealing
bring
with.
up a letter of intent where Shangri-La says they are interested and want to work with them. If you bring up that, everything is fine, and we talk finally.
Yeah.
And you cannot afford or can ask the bank for 25 million, and then you wrote to me, you want to have 25 million,
No,
and
I'm
all
not-
of a
no.
sudden you're going to
That's
ask me
not-
for
it's not-
75
That's
million.
bullshit. That's bullshit because the bank I was talking to just last week, in principle, we had a
The
really
next-
nice lunch. The guy said, "I'm really in for this. I'd love to be in
No,
on this deal.
basically-
When you're ready, come back to me, and I
Basically,
would
but
love
you
to
didn't-
talk to you
Yeah,
about
but
it.
you
And
didn't
we're
say
having our-
25 million on the paper, and then you come
I
up with
told
75 million.
No, bullshit.
That's not the market.
I told him,
That's not
what?
a market. If you say you need 25 million, and in the
I
conversation you
need
come up with
25 million
75,
in the first tranche
yeah,
of
you will
of
get it,
finance.
and they can say how you can get
Okay.
it. You will get it with
But-
the first tranche, about 1 million, and after that is done, and you prove what
But
you
if
have
I
done, you will
ask
get
you
the
a
next 2
question, you
millions.
wouldn't be so obstructive. From my experience,
Then you
most
change it to
bankers
10
actually
million.
want to do.
Really?
No, no, no.
Change
We
it to
said we
10
want a 25 million facility. We want to draw down 10 million for the
The
first
first
one.
restaurant.
Based on what
And they
happens
will
with
get
the
the
first
10
one,
million,
then
but they
as
will
long
get
as
the
we-
first 2 million, and then they have to build something. Then somebody will check, and
Of
you will get the
course,
next
of
2
course. I
million.
mean, it's normal.
And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, this is the way it is in the fucking world.
They will
So all
never-
those books and all those tapes and CDs that you're watching are jerking you off. This is how it is in the real world. I trained all these guys.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Can you do it? What can you do? If you can't take me to the next level, then maybe I need to meet your boss.
Yeah, well, we talk
Sorry.
right now for this deal
Sorry.
25 million.
This is our first courtship.
Yeah.
Based on your
And
attitude,
you gave me the
I
money.
don't feel very confident you're
You
going to look
gave me
after
the
my
number.
business interest.
You gave me
Right?
the number.
You're just giving me an in principle meeting to see whether we have any grounds here. We're looking for a relationship, not a.
Yes,
a
you said we're
school
interested
teacher.
in financing you, but we need the basics.
But I mean, let's
We need the
Who,
basics.
let's say
who
that
works for
prior to the
you
meeting,
partners, or which one of you is in
prior to the
charge?
meeting, we sell all
We're
the
both
documentation
in
that is
charge,
required
so we-
because I
You're
think that's
both
the
in
professional
charge.
way to do it.
That's-
Because
that's
Charge
for real.
me.
And the point that he brought up about the European culture was all good points. They want their dress and, the little Romanian
trying to
bullshit.
help, right?
The little Romanian bullshit.
I'm trying to help. I want this team, you know.
Now this here sounds like the Battle of Britain. It sounds like the Battle of Britain right here. So they're coming up with B-2 rockets and bombing London.
Maybe I can help you. I think you act a little bit aggressive because normally you sit on this side and
Yeah,
you're
it's very
too aggressive to the banker.
Don't take my money.
Yeah.
Don't take my money.
So you behave normally like the banker behaves to you.
Well, I thought,
And the reason is because you normally are too aggressive to go for the money. And what he tries is to establish very calm
Rapport.
a first contact and see whether there are possibilities.
But
And
never.
this is not
I
so
mean, you will
aggressive.
agree. Nobody goes in a conversation starts with 25, and all of a sudden we want 75.
No, I never
No,
said
no,
that.
no.
I never said
But I
that.
think his
I said
intent was to ask.
I said I want to
Yeah,
know
where the lending
what
limit
your
is.
lending limit is.
So does
My
Marcus
chairman,
bring
Mr.
up a good
Peña,
point
told
where
me
he
that you had
wants,
100 million.
Yeah, that's correct.
You told me you had
him to bring up-
300 million.
First,
No,
You
the
said we
letter
could
of
do 2 or
intent.
3.
Yeah.
But they might not have the letter of intent. Because to get the letter of intent, he wants to go back to the...
I'm not going to go to China to see the chairman of one of the biggest hotel companies in the world unless I know that in principle I can get the money. Because the guy who's going to introduce me to this, who's his best friend, is an 85-year-old man. He's worth $14.5 billion. Right? And if I can't perform the day I go in there, he says yes, I need the money in a week. I'm not going to say yes, can I have a letter of intent? This guy won't give me a fucking letter of intent. He won't give me a letter of intent. He'll say, yes, speak to my son or my uncle or my brother or whatever.
My bank will give you not the money if you don't bring something up.
Bullshit. My bank in London said they would love to look at it. They've already told me. Without any, with only with... Yes, and that's all I want to know. In principle, can we do it? Then I go and have the chat, bang. Can you do it? How quickly? The next question was, how quickly could you
The
move?
bank will not do the
They do. I'm sorry. They do.
We
My
said we can do
experience
this
is they
principle.
do.
I'm not
We said
involved.
That's crap. Then you need
No,
to...
we said
We said we can do it in principle, yeah. We can do it.
Well, then after that, then...
I've never known a bank that was that aggressive, saying I want a letter of this, I want a letter of that, when you go just for your first...
talking to a German bank.
For your
Bosnia.
This is how the boss. This is how they do in Croatia. And then they ask, and then they ask for money under the table.
So is Marcus
Wanna
being
play
right
Russian
for
roulette
being
first?
that aggressive?
No, well, he's probably being a little too aggressive. But I mean, when you're dealing in Eastern European bloc countries, old communist countries, you got to be tough.
Yeah.
They're not interested in pussies. They're just not. Okay. But I mean, what Ricardo says is correct. I mean, he needs, before he gets a letter of intent, he's got to be able to tell the old man at the Shangri-La hotel chain that yes, in principle, subject to a lot of stuff, that we have it financed. And then he knows a letter of intent isn't worth much, so he'll give him a letter of intent. or a memorandum of understanding, and then Ricardo will go back to the swastika boys here, and come to the next level. But I mean,
I wouldn't. I'd ask to see his boss.
yeah, or he'd go to another bank because his English sensitivities are hurt now. His English sensitivities.
But I mean, you need to know that.
But there's a little V2 rockets here. This is from the war, from 70 years ago. I sense a little animosity. And then the Romanians who switched sides, they went from the German side to the Russian side.
I think it's a good ally to have.
Yeah. He came up with some good. You can tell Chip has done bullshit before because he came up with a good point, and a very valid point. The Chinese are interested in the clothes and the this and the that. Okay. In a nice way, he was telling Marcus, "You're an idiot." In a nice way, he was saying. But this is how it is. This is how it is. And for people to think they're just going to waltz in and fucking somebody's going to drop their drawers and give them the money, it's bullshit. This is how it is. And that's why we go through this role playing. And that's why we talk about practicing and I talk about the book and then the seminar. This is what you got to get good at. And we're going to have role playing about getting directors and other things as the week goes on. But he has talked to bankers. He's made presentations. You've been kicked around by the Eastern European guys, which aren't so polite. No. They're not so polite.
I tell you what we should do. You come with me, I'm serious, to one of my bank meetings in London, and I'll come with you to one of your guys. I think it would be very good for both of us to see, the different. What language do you speak?
Well,
it's
different between German and
Eastern
English.
Europeans.
Between German and English. Sometimes there's a translator which translates from English or German to Serbian.
So we both have experiences. So I didn't think it was so hard. We had, at least I had negotiations that were much tougher. Tougher.
Me as well, a lot tougher than that.
They ask you where the notary stuff, where's blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And if you have not the numbers, goodbye.
Goodbye.
All I know is the banks that I've been dealing with in the last couple of years,
We're talking to the wrong people.
all want to have a relationship. When I say to them what Dan said, that on the phone, I just want to establish a new relationship because at the moment I have a deposit relationship with my banks. They're not, They understand that, and they actually come to my restaurant and buy me lunch. They pay for lunch at my place, so it's.
We've been banking at the wrong place, perhaps. We should come to London.
Okay. Anybody have any questions that have witnessed this this little duel at Guthrie? But they both did a good job.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, we'll take a picture for you.
Be nice for posterity's thing.
Yes.
Oops.
Which one? The second? Yeah.
I still don't got you guys on the board. We had three. We had Chris.
We had Chris. We had me.
Yeah, good.
No, but I can't say because it's on YouTube.
Excellent.
Okay. Okay, guys.
That's good enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's it. Thanks.